Hey folks, going to be doing an unboxing here of Company of Heroes. Board game just came in today. It's published by Bad Crow Games, and I have I went all in on it, of course, as I do with many of my Kickstarters, because how could you not? So let's get opening this guy up. We've got a little bit to get through. I forgot that it came in this crate. Alright, let me slide this. I might have to adjust the camera actually. It came in this nice little tote with the all-in bundle. I think I'm going to have to pull this off the table and try to get it up here, so bear with me a moment. That's everything that came in the box. You see Company Heroes, and then War Crate, and a bunch of identifying marks. Now, how does this open? I'll just, like you would expect it to. These come off at all. I don't want to break it. Well, they do fold all the way over. Okay, that's good. Gotta be careful. Let's turn this around so everything's right way up. Oh, we got the co-op expansion. Got some packing material. Let's get all that out of the way first. Co-op expansion. Solo and co-op expansion. We'll dive into some of this in a bit. Eastern reinforcements. Looks like it's what is that? ISU 152s, sniper infantry, and some cards. And then we have this Stug assault pack with bonus elite infantry commanders. We'll open these up once we get this out of the way. Oberkommando West. Looks like it's elite German command units. Looks like it's going to come with a bunch of vehicles, some infantry, and the cards and tiles to use them. Then we have the Elite Commanders Company of Heroes game here. Or this is just an expansion pack, yeah. A bunch of more vehicles that are, I guess, specific to these commanders that are in this expansion pack. 2 King Tigers, 2 Jag Panthers, KV-2 assault tanks, IS-2 heavy tanks, Comet tanks, Sexton motorized artillery, Sherman Fireflies, Pershing heavy tanks, Stuart M5 light tanks, Sherman Calliopes, and the Elite Commander cards that go along with them. We'll open that up in just a bit. Of course, you can't have a game or a war game without a terrain pack. And this one comes with the sandbags, the tank traps, razor wire, some buildings, the flag poles to indicate who has control of a hex, and then the flags themselves. More packing material. Terrain pack number 2, Ruins of War. Something tells me this is going to have ruins in it. A cathedral ruin tower, a cathedral lookout tower, 6 building ruins, and 2 bunkers. More packing material. What's this? Pathfinder pack. One Pathfinder Company, one Pathfinder Company 2. Looks like a few. It looks like infantry is what it's going to be. And the oh no, there's a tank. What does that say? Elephant Tank Destroyer. Get that opened up in just a minute. Oh my goodness, this is heavy. Company of Heroes. The box. This thing weighs a lot. So there's the back of the box. 116 infantry, 30 weapon teams, 24 light vehicles, 26 heavy vehicles, 24 infantry trays, 66 dice, 156 cubes, and the list goes on. So let's open that up first, as soon as I get this out of the way. All that packing material. I'm guessing those boxes are just meant to sit right inside of this thing. Actually, the sides of this thing look like they open up. Oh! It comes apart. Oh, that's cool. You can break it down, I suppose. That's interesting. I don't think it came together properly. It did not. This one's hooked in. This side's hooked in, but this side is not hooked in. See if I can force it in here a little bit. There we go. That's in there good. This side's in. This side's not in. Now it's in. This side's not in. Now it's in. Now it's more sturdy. That probably came apart in shipping, I would assume. All right, I'll get this off the table. Company of Heroes. All right. Definitely a full box. Company of Heroes, the board game. We got the basic rules. We got the advanced rules. I started looking through the basic rules. They are pretty basic. Nice icon reference on the back page. And an advanced reference on the back page of the advanced manual. The advanced manual is only 7 pages, so it's not a lot. I'm assuming this makes the game a bit more like traditional war games in terms of units and firing arcs and such, whereas this is probably more basic, like maybe Memoir 44 or Heroes of Normandy type thing. Alright, so basic and advanced. Mission booklet. It's got a decent amount of missions in here. 6 players, different scenarios. the ice matrix. I'm assuming that comes into play in Russia. There are definitely a lot of missions in there, though. Oh, stickers. Oh, multiple sheets of stickers. It gets even better. And these, are these the ones? No, they're cut. Okay. They're just clear. They're clear coat, like the, you know. For a second there, I thought they were like the old stickers for the models where you had to wet them and then put them on and peel them off slowly. But they're actually they're pre-cut. It's hard. It's impossible for you to see that, but they are pre-cut. Not looking forward to putting those on. Caring for your new miniatures collection, and this is a collection. Okay, so they're talking about how to, if any of the parts are bent, you can, you know, put them in hot water for a little bit and then bend them back in place and hold them there. Okay, so they go over how to, like, really basic painting, which I guess is really all you need to do. Outside of the tracks, you could probably just put a base coat on it, add a little bit of contrast, and maybe do a wash on it, and it's gonna look decent enough for this. And then, you know, paint the tracks a different color, but that's nice. They do have a painting guide, it looks like, and they've already got errata. Imagine that, a war game with errata. The only known errata at the time of printing is the typo in the back of the building's boards that reference moving into buildings. Interesting. All right. And we have what looks to be our player trays here, or commander trays. Pull one of them out here. It's a nice plastic, and it's dual layer. You can kind of, there you go. You can kind of see that in there where it's dual layer. So you're going to be putting your cubes in all these spots. I'm assuming your commander card up here, and one experience. But those are nice. They're plastic, nice hard plastic too. So it's not cardboard. And there are 4 of them in here. So we'll just slide those back into there. Then we do have some cardboard. Forward emplacements. Different types of emplacements, mortars, anti-tanks. Here's the flags. I think everything in this is replaced with the terrain set. Yeah, because here's the tank traps and the barbed wire. These I think are the status tokens. So these probably are need to be. Sorry, it's a little blurry, or not blurry, but glary. These are probably upgrades, I'm thinking. But all these emplacements probably will need to be punched out. We have the here are the headquarters cards. Get these opened up. Switch this over so it's a little bigger as well, so you guys can actually see this. So we'll look at here. I think these are the U.S. Yep, U.S. headquarters. All right, so let's get this over here, and there we go. Let me get this raised up a little bit. Get this raised up a little bit more. Is it going to focus, or is that as focused as it's going to go? There we go. Nope. Still really didn't focus. Well, let's try manual focus. There we go. Perfect. All right, so sorry for the shadowing. Um, these are the, like I said, I briefly ran through the basic rules. So these cards, there are 3 of them per faction, so to speak. Um, and this is the first card for the U.S. And this is what is available to you at the beginning of each game. So you can build riflemen, you can have mortar team, or you can have a Willys Jeep. You'll see the health. Try and stop my shadow from getting in there. You can see the health is 4, so you'll have little trays, and we'll show you those here in a minute. Whenever I get to them, you'll have 4 actual little figures that'll go into a tray. And as you take wounds and damage and whatnot, you'll remove those figures from the tray. You'll notice that it's green. Green's for infantry. The yellow is for like a light vehicle. There's a red for a heavy vehicle. It's basically tank type vehicles, and then there's a purple that are for the emplacements. So the mortars, anti-tank guns or anti-aircraft guns, that type of stuff. Then you'll see the range to the right of the health. So everybody has a default of 2 range, so you can shoot essentially 2 hexes, or however you want to call it, away, two spaces away from you by default, and then you'll be able to get upgrades for these guys. You'll see below, right here in this line, that's the upgrade line. So they don't start with those abilities, but you can get them as you proceed through games. So there is like a little bit, from what I gather from reading the rules, there is a little bit of carryover. Like you can play through a scenario of sorts that will allow you to sort of keep your troops and get them upgraded over a couple of different games. So you'll see they attack infantry. They're good at killing infantry. They have a bonus, which is the wrench. That basically means that if a light vehicle or a heavy vehicle, I would have to look that up. If a light vehicle or a heavy vehicle is nearby them, they can repair that by 1, at the end of each round, so to speak. And then it costs 4, their unit cost to build there is 4 of the fist, which I don't know what that is called. I would have to look it up. And then you can see now for the mortar team, they only have 3 life. They're green though, so they're still infantry. And it's kind of hard to tell in that picture, but the first of the target is grayed out, which means they can't attack anything adjacent, but they can attack up to 4 hexes away, which makes sense. They just can't attack adjacent. They also require 4 of the yellow fists to build. And then their damage there is HE, so high explosive. Basically, high explosives can be lobbed over buildings and that type of thing. And there is I think the base game, or the base rules, they essentially damage everything in the same way. But if you play with the advanced rules, then they affect different things in different fashion, and they have a chance to maybe not hit their target, or do double damage or half damage, that type of thing. That's what comes into play with the advanced rules. And they also have upgrades below there that you can see. The left side are experience upgrades, and the right side are munitions upgrades. So basically, on the left side of the mortar, if you were to get that upgrade, you would add a second, I think I'm reading that right, a second HE attack. So you could, it explodes twice, or double mortars, or whatever. I could be completely wrong, but that's the left side is the experience upgrades, and the right side is the munitions upgrades. And then you see the Willys Jeep. It has a life of 2. It is yellow because it's a light vehicle. It can attack 2 hexes away. It is anti-infantry. Then you have the little speed icon there with the little guy running real quick. That basically means he can move an extra space for quote unquote for free, but you have to use one of the dice to indicate that, and he can only use that ability once per round. And then to build, it looks like it's going to cost you 2 of the yellow fist and 2 of the green gas tanks. And then he also has the upgrade ability below him that does various things. So this is like the face up how it starts on the back side. It goes over unit maneuvers. It costs 2 control points. So basically, when you're maneuvering, you're going to have every maneuver round, you're going to have 3 maneuver turns, or 3 turns to maneuver. And during each turn, you can spend 3 command points. So you'll be able to spend up to 9 command points per maneuver turn or round, however you want to discuss it or phrase it. So it would cost you 2 command points to enter a building, 1 command point to leave. You cannot leave the building on the same turn you enter it. I do recall reading that. Weapons teams, which are like your mortars, your machine gunners, those type of infantry units, have special rules. Light vehicles have that speed die that gives them a free move, which I just discussed with the Willys Jeep. And then the heavy vehicles can only move forward and backward, but can rotate 1 hex tick per move. So they can, if you're playing the base game, there are no firing arcs, but with the advanced rules, there are firing arcs. So that will come into play pretty heavily. But in the base game, basically anything can fire 360 degrees around it. So there's no facing with the base game. So that's the first one. Here's your second card for the US. It gives you a nice little round sequence reminder, how to do the damage, how to do the supply phase. And then once you can spend 3 gas tanks and 1 yellow fist, you can flip this over to give you access to all these units. You have the 50 cal machine gun team, you have the anti-tank gun, and you'll have the MA Greyhound as the US. Again, all the same similar stats. The machine gunners can pin, so basically they will choose a unit to attack during the damage round, and they will pin that unit. That unit will basically not be able to do anything on their turn for damage. While it's pinned, they're not going to be able to move, they're not going to be able to return fire or attack. They can defend, so they will get to roll defense dice, but that's about it. And you cannot pin other machine gun units, but I'm pretty sure you can pin any other infantry unit. Unless that infantry unit is in a building, at which point you can't pin that infantry unit. So then those are the other units for the second card. And then the third card starts off, this is the defense matrix. So this is sort of how you determine whether you're going to be able to roll defense dice. So if you are a green infantry, and you're getting attacked by an infantry, there's a dash. That means you're taking that hit. If you're a green infantry and you're attacked by a tank, a heavy vehicle, you got the shield. That means that all the attack from this guy that are that type of the infantry type, you can re-roll. And then you can potentially ignore that damage. So you'll see there, infantry cannot evade the high explosives or the flame attack, which is flamethrowers. Light vehicles will be able to re-roll attacks from infantry and the high explosives, but nothing else. The heavies they can't be damaged by infantry at all, and they can't be damaged by flame at all. They will get to re-roll the high explosive damage, but if they're getting attacked by other heavy tanks, the base game, not really much is different. They'll get to re-roll. But if you use the advanced rules, there's your armor in the front of your tank is heavier than the armor behind it, so it depends where you are at in the firing arc where they're attacking you, etc. And then the emplacements, as they call them, will be able to re-roll their defense dice if they're getting attacked by infantry, but nothing else. And then buildings. Basically, if you play the base game, buildings are indestructible, and then with the advanced rules, there are hit points and stuff associated with them. So, buildings can't be damaged by. That's weird. Why cannot buildings be damaged by heavy tanks or by heavy vehicles? You would think they would be able to. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. And then you pay your 2 yellow fists and your 5 green gas, and you'll be able to build these things. You'll be able to build your major. You'll be able to build the Sherman, and you'll be able to build the Wolverine. So you basically start off with just infantry, and you can go from there. And each faction has that same 3 set of cards. They work similarly. Obviously, they're all different units. I have no idea how balanced they are, but that's how those. I forget what kind of cards these are called. Building cards, I think, is what they call them. And then we have our commander cards here. When you play your first game, just put those there. When you play your first game, they recommend you don't use these. And I honestly have not read the rules for them, so I'm not sure exactly how they work. But there is a whole deck of them here, of commander cards. So that'll add a little bit of variability to the game. Now, let's turn that camera back off. We'll switch back up over here. So we got, I'm assuming red is for Russia. We got some tanks. Get that plastic off there. A bunch of little guys here. Looks like there's indentations for them to actually stand up, but yeah, it's probably not going to be happening. The bottoms of them tell you exactly. The bottoms of them are engraved, I guess you could say, with what the unit is. It's pretty heavy plastic too. It's not light. Nothing looks like it's bent, at least in this one. You see that one, there's T70. Here's the T34. Does this turn? Oh, it does turn. So the turrets on the tanks can turn a little bit. Kind of interesting. I wonder if that comes into play with the firing arcs, if you have to sort of maintain. There's also, these are inset, so I wonder if you're supposed to lay the cards on this, like the commander cards. There's like an indentation here where it looks like some sort of card would go, and then something else sit on top of it. I don't know. All right, so there's what I'm assuming. Yeah, the Russians. Is that supposed to be empty? The Americans. Well, let's look. I think this tell me what all is supposed to be in here. So let's see here. Ah, yes, this is nice. So here's the basic rulebook. Tells you exactly what miniatures you can expect. So we'll just set that there. I should have my 2 M7 priests, which I do. I should have my 2 M4 3 Shermans, which I do. I should have my 2 Wolverines, which I do. I should have 3 Greyhounds, which I do. I should have 3 Willys Jeeps, which I do. And I should have a whole bunch of guys, which I do. So this is meant to be empty. Crisis averted. So there's the Americans. I'll try to set this aside. Here we go with the Germans. Same tanks. I'll pull these tanks out and put them under the other camera here in a second. Here we have the British, and then we have all kinds of goodies. What war game would be complete without a sand timer? It has 2 sand timers. I think these are the vehicle trays. So you kind of set your vehicle. Let's see if I can do this here. Kind of set your vehicle on it, and then there's a spot here on the left for dice, and what I'm assuming on here is some kind of sort of status. But so you can sort of move it all around the map without having to move first the unit and then the status symbols and so forth and so on. So there's also trays for the infantry that do the same thing. It did come with a nice little clear rubber band, but I don't know how long that's going to last. We got all kinds of little cubes here. Status cubes, I guess. I don't know. They look like they're clear acrylic. Ton of dice. There's some blue dice. And there's some red dice. And then there's some gray dice that just have pips on them. And then we've got, I think these are when you're assigning attacks, you assign, however many attacks you're doing to a unit. So if a tank is attacking an infantry unit, and the tank can hit on one infantry and one, heavy attack, essentially. So if you're thinking of command and colors, like this would be your green dot and this would be your red square. You assign those to those units, and then depending on what that unit is can defend against, they will get to re-roll possibly 1 or 2 of these, and then see if the hits actually go through. Oh man, orange cubes, white cubes, mortar, but artillery guns. They might be anti-aircraft. Machine gun emplacements. And here's the mortars. Man. And then these are the infantry trays. Again, has a nice little clear rubber band going around it. So here's the infantry trays. And what you'll do, I'll show this down on the other camera here in a minute. It's going to be easier that way. Oh, did I break that? Nope. Okay, good. So nice little tray to contain all that. Then we have a couple maps. We have 3 maps. We have 4 maps. Double-sided. Let's open one of these bad boys up. Probably going to want to keep that to hold those maps in place. It looks like there is definitely a rhyme or reason for all this. Alright. See if I can open up this map without damaging it. And more plastic to get rid of. There's this says Stalingrad 2. Pretty big map, pretty hexes. The green here indicates it's a building that units can go into. There's 2 green buildings there. Purple, I think, are impassable objects, so you can't move into. You have to move around. Yellow, I'm I'm not sure what yellow is. No, maybe purple is purple might be the emplacements, where you can put emplacements. Red means you can't cross it. So basically you can't jump off into the river. You can't go into... Oh, this is all frozen over. There's a little hole there. I thought that the rules said that you were not able to actually go into the water, but obviously this is ice, but if it were water. Then you can see faint, so there's like the yellow fist here. You guys might not be able to see that. Yellow fist there. There's a blue star here. So basically, if you occupy that hex, you'll get a yellow fist income, at the end of the round. That's what you use to sort of pay to build, quote unquote, build more units. You summon them to your side of the board, and so forth. We'll look at the other side of this map. And this is the Monastery 1. So I'm assuming those other boards probably slide up adjacent to this so you can have a giant map. There's the Monastery there. Impassable terrain. So you have to kind of, I guess because that's all walled off. Interesting. Alright, so that's one map. Alright, so let's look at... Let me shove some of this stuff out of the way. Let's look at those trays a little bit. Switch this other camera back on here. Get that out of the way. Alright, so we'll have our little Sherman tank here. These tanks are pretty... Miniatures are pretty decently detailed. It's a nice hard heavy plastic, and you can see it says Sherman. Let's do the units, so you can see the unit trays and how all that works. Get that out of there. So here we have our unit tray. You'll have spots for up to, get that out of the way, up to 5 units, and then back here is where you will put your dice. So let's say well, let's get a couple guys out here. Here's our infantry guys. So you could place guys in here. It's actually a tight fit. I don't know if I like that. It feels like it's gonna... well, that one is. The other ones aren't. So you can fit guys in here like this. And that way you're not moving 4 or 5 individual guys around the map. You just have the little tray to move around. And then you can also, as they get different abilities or status effects, let's say, here, we'll say this. We'll say they got slowed. You can put your slow dice there to indicate they're slowed, and then all that moves around with it. You don't have to move a million different things. So that's a nice little part of this game that's going to make the upkeep a little bit better, in my opinion. So that's how those all work. That is a tight fit, but it comes right out. It's just a little snug. So nothing to really worry about there. We'll put all these guys back in here. There was no... So, put that back on there. Get those guys to lay down. There we go. And put these back together. There are spots in here, it looks like, for all the cardboard, but they're... I mean, I guess it's self-explanatory where they go, but there isn't really a... These things go here, sort of guide that there is on most things, or most games that come with an insert like that. But that's not terrible. All right, so let's switch back over here, and let's just put all this back into the box, and we'll open up some of these expansions. So we'll put that back down in there first, and then that. Stalingrad 1, Hill 331. And then let's see, this thing was next. So that would go in there like that. And we had the British, the Germans, the Americans, the Russians. We had that stuff. These might have been under some of that. I think they were. The plastic trays. And then all of the additional things here. Yeah, it's going to be, lid's going to be lifted, but that's okay. All those stickers that have got to be put on by somebody. And basic and advanced rules. Alright, so we'll get that. Yep, sits a little high. It won't after I get all that stuff back in the sorted and whatnot. So let's open up the Elite Commanders. 10 commanders in this pack. It would have been nice. I know this is all stuff is all separate expansions, but it would have been nice if that big plastic box would have had a little bit more organized storage. Alright, so just a little thing on top. And all the commander cards. So these are the Elite Commanders. It's just another deck of them. So, and then all of... What are those supposed to be? Oh! Those go on top of these guys. That's pretty crazy. And they got to come off to go back in. That's not going to last long. That might be a mistake. We'll see. I got a couple bent turrets here, but they're Germans, so Jag Panthers. Do these turrets spin as well? Yep, turrets spin. That's pretty awesome. IS-2s. Some of those turrets are a little janky, but that's okay. Little Stuarts. Even the ones on the Stuart turns. That's crazy. It's a tiny piece of plastic. Good thing it's a hard plastic though, because I'd be afraid to twist that turret if it wasn't. Alright, so there's that. That was just laying on top. And then that goes on top of that. So that's the Elite Commanders with special commanders. And let's go to the Oberkommando West. Same thing, more commanders, commander cards. This looks like a new set of the building cards just for the Oberkommando West headquarters. And then it looks like we have infantry. We got some big, those look like anti-aircraft guns. More artillery, tanks. They got the motorcycle guys. Man, even those have the you can't see that. They have the name imprinted on the bottom of them, the Kettenkrad. And then a bunch of infantry units and the spots to put them in. So that's the Oberkommander West. Commando West, sorry. And we got the co-op expansion, which also has solo play, which I'll probably end up doing a video on that. Let's open this one up here. Action deck phase 1, instruction cards, 6 black cubes. I got the solo rulebook. Looks like it goes through all how the AI cards. It looks like it's a set of AI cards that you're going to be pulling from. Different damage. Ooh, digital scenarios coming soon. That's pretty nifty for just solo, maybe. Yeah, different event tokens. And then here's all the event tokens. That's interesting. And there's just a little piece of foam in the bottom to protect the cardboard. Like to see that. That's the co-op expansion. I'm assuming the roles are probably the same whether you're playing by yourself or with a friend. Let's see here. Let's go through these little expansions before we get to the terrain sets. So this is the Pathfinder pack. And looks like we have more commander cards here. Pathfinder Company. Yep, we have some special units. I can't tell if they're different sculpts. They don't look like they're different sculpts, but it's possible. And then we've got a... Uh-oh. There's no name on that one. What's that supposed to be? Elephant Tank Destroyer. There's no name engraved in the Elephant Tank Destroyer. I'll have to look and see if that's a known issue, or maybe I just got lucky. That's the Pathfinder pack. Now we got the Stug or Stug Assault pack. We'll open that one up. Again, more commander cards. Nothing out of the ordinary. Ooh, we got 3 new dice. Oh, nope, we got 6 new dice. Light green. Interesting. And then we have 2 sets of... That one says Stug on the bottom of it. One's like a light gray, and one's a dark gray. That one says Stug as well. I don't know what the difference is, but we got two sets of Stugs or Stugs. Let's see if this will tell me what the difference is. It's just for different commanders, I guess. Yeah. Just for different commanders. Alright. And then we have the Eastern Reinforcements pack. More commander cards. And then we got 2... Do these have... Yep, these have ISU 152 written on the bottom of them. Those turrets do not turn, which they probably weren't supposed to. And then a couple infantry units. So that's what comes in the Eastern Reinforcements pack. I'm going to have to find out if that Pathfinder pack was supposed to be labeled on the bottom or not. Alright, so let's do Terrain 1 first, since it looks to be less impressive. So this is going to replace, I think, a lot of those tokens, or at least maybe you can just put the buildings out and make things pop a little more on the board. Here's the red and blue flags. Here's the razor wire. And here are the sandbags. Man, that's heavy plastic. It's nice. They're tank traps. Here are the flags. Or flag stands, I guess. And we'll put those on there. Nice, nice that they put that little foam in there to protect that. So these are the buildings. Pretty standard looking building. Looks like you can put probably like a on fire marker or something up there. Oh, that's cool. That comes out, so you can hide your guys in there. Maybe that, or you can put them on top, I guess. Yeah. It goes right back in. Pretty nifty. Slides right in and out. Looks like a pretty basic European house. And there are 9 of them there. That's that. So that's terrain pack number 1. Now, everybody's favorite terrain pack number 2. The Ruins of War. We got a couple of, I don't know what those are, 50 cows? Something on there. Heavy stabilizer. They might be anti-tank guns. They're not 50 cows. What's in here? Oh, these are the ruins. They're all individually wrapped. It's just a ruined building. Here, let me. They're not sealed, which is nice. You can go right back in. It's just a hollow shell of a building you can put out there. I don't know. I doubt there's any special rules for them or anything like that, but just kind of add a little flavor to your game. There's a church tower. Looks like there's quite a few of these ruined buildings. Let's see if I can get this back in here without breaking anything. There we go. Let's see. Here's the bunkers. Pretty standard bunker. Nice thick hard plastic. This is a bunker. They definitely made it true to its name. There's 2 of them. Here's a busted out cathedral. Broken, shattered windows. No back to it. I guess maybe that can go on the top. I don't know. Maybe it's just a separate piece. Oh, these cardboard's falling over. That's not good. Alright. So we'll put that back there. And we'll try to just slide that right back down in there. Of course, it's not going to go. Pull that out. Put that in. And put that there. Stay. Maybe it goes like that. No, those were in there like that. Maybe they're in there an angle. Angled in there. Maybe. Maybe they're supposed to go like this, eh? Nope. Well. How did that go in there? It was really smashed in there, eh? I'm gonna pop this. Maybe it wasn't. No, that's bulging the box the other way now. I don't know. I'll worry about that later. All that cardboard's got to come out anyways. And then here's a huge big chapel with a bunch of embankments or emplacements to put things. And then those, where were those? Are those just laying there maybe like that? I don't know. It's going to bug me now that I can't get that back in there. I'll take the cardboard out, they'll fit. Just do that. Close enough. There we go. Back in business. That's bulging on the side. That's okay. Thick plastic. All right, so that's Company of Heroes, the all-in bundle. I believe you could also get this pre-painted for about $300 or $400, which I did not decide to do. But yeah, so I'll probably do another video soon with a solo playthrough. Maybe try to get some folks over here to, or at least one other person over here to try to do a normal, quote unquote, normal game of it. Maybe do like a little rules tutorial type thing, at least for the base rules, and then maybe into the advanced. I believe they're supposed to try to do a reprint of this in Q2 of 2021, so that'll probably be coming to Kickstarter pretty soon. But yeah, definitely the production looks pretty decent. The plastic is great. Nice hard plastics. Yeah, but we'll see about gameplay. Alright guys, thanks for watching.